Well and well met, free creatures and gentle beings. I'm here now with a look at the Chaos collection that I've amassed in the past couple of years of compulsive, sort of problematic eBay usage. But what I have done is I've collected a completely, well, I'm going to start with the two exceptions to this. So what I tried to put together is a non-Citadel Chaos army. And you've got a lot of options when it comes to non-Citadel Chaos. But one thing that there's very limited kind of options as far as an Oldhammer aesthetic goes is missile troops. So we're probably going to be playing Dragon Rampant 2nd Edition, so it doesn't really matter that Chaos troops can't have missile weapons in more modern editions. These are from Battle Masters. I got these painted off eBay, or Noble Knight, but one option for Chaos figures, and particularly for Chaos missile troops. We've got Partha Europe. So this is originally a Partha figure. From the Fantasy Armies range, this is a Bob Ollie sculpt, and he just looks real sick. He looks like a Chaos Mandalorian archer. He's very 80s swords and sorcery. I like this guy. It's a 90s sculpt, but 80s kind of aesthetic, which goes with Realm of Chaos. And that was kind of one of the earliest figures I got that kind of started me down this train. So I've got a full squad for Dragon Rampant, which is 12. I got some packs from Partha Europe. I had a big FOMO order when the tariffs were about to come down, and I didn't know if it was gonna be possible to order these. And I'm kind of glad I splurged. Sorry about the focus there. So yeah, Chaos Archers, Chaos Crossbow, and all of those are options in 3rd edition in the Warhammer Armies and in Realm of Chaos. But I don't know when those dropped out, because Marauders could get crossbows, and Thugs could get normal bows, I think. The Marauders are in Realms of Chaos are quite versatile, actually, comparatively. So, okay, so I showed you a Beastmaster. These are actually what kind of started me down the rabbit hole of eBay. I'd kind of sworn off buying metal figures, and that didn't last. And then I swore buying vintage figures off eBay, and that didn't last either. So here we are. And as a result of that, though, I have a collection that I'm pretty proud of, and I get to talk about it, and you get to listen. So these are the beasts for my Chaos Beast Handler. These are Julie Guthrie wolves. And there's kind of a weird situation with Julie Guthrie's figures. She has a pretty good selection of figures you can still get from Reaper. And at one point, it seems like she retained control of a lot of the miniatures she sculpted back in the day, which is awesome. But then unfortunately, the company that held the license kind of imploded in a way that has made a lot of her figures from Grenadier, a lot of Julie Guthrie's Grenadier figures. So we're going to Grenadier now, and we're going to start with Julie Guthrie because she does such beautiful work, and these are some of my favorite figures of hers. So with Julie Guthrie, she had her own line of Julie Guthrie's personalities. I think there were actually 2 of these lines. So Julie Guthrie's fantasy personalities from Grenadier. This is the card for the beast handler there. And I should show off my blister pack collection. I noticed as I was peeking at the Grenadier figures that are available in production from Merlaton, EM4, Forlorn Hope, the Mark Copplestone. These are for Fantasy Warriors, one of my absolute favorite lines. I think it's I compare it very favorably to mid-90s Citadel, at least. And Mark Copplestone he only did 5 of these, so there's 1 pack of Evil Foot Knights, I think they're sometimes called. I can't get that to focus, I'm sorry. There we go. Another real sick evil guy. And yeah, so there's 5 of these really sick, not Citadel, but clearly like freaking Frank Frazetta ass heavy metal Chaos Warriors, right? And I was like, well, you can't put those next to, Citadel figures. They look teeny tiny, and I'll demonstrate. So this one also, both of these came off eBay already painted. This is one of my favorite miniatures of all time, and this is a great paint job. I feel pretty good about leaving it if that's what I end up doing, but I really would love the chance to paint this guy, the fucking devil horns, the scythe, all the colors. I like it. I'm gonna have to paint it one day, but I'm not in a hurry. And so that's a Jess Goodwin Chaos Champion, and they put him in a million different lines as they reorganized the Chaos lines over the time. He started out as a Khorne champion, actually, but I always think of him as a Nurgle champion. And then the conversion in Rogue Trader, where they put a bolt gun a bolter from the original RTB01 Beaky box in his hand. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, this is a Julie Guthrie, and this one I think is just named Chaos Warrior. And he's got like a crazy H.R. Giger, like face hugger armor and like dragon claws or something. This one came painted, and it's very charming. And then I had to go on like a little internet scavenger hunt to find, this is an Arcane Armorials transfer. You can kind of see that face looks familiar, very John Blanchy. It was like a transfer set that they did, I think right around this era, like 88. Then we've got, so the whole point of me showing you that is these are not the same scale. So it's fine, I think, for the champions, because I mean they're clearly being mutated and granted more power by the gods of chaos, so they can have heroic scale. But one of the smaller ones, I mean, this is an evil knight, you guys. Skulls, screaming shield, got they have horns, some of them, but it does not look like a Citadel Chaos Warrior, but you can still tell that it is this guy's got like a unicorn skull helmet. All of these, there's a transfer on is that sculpted? Wow. Anyway, Julie Guthrie, Evil Knight, guys. Anything that's painted here, I just haven't had the chance to strip, and they came that way on eBay. I'm sorry for the focus issue. I'm like this Cthulhu guy, very cosmic. And this is another guy with some bestial features. I mean, that is a corn guy for sure. Could see him even as a beastman in armor with his hound helmet. And this is from, so Julie Guthrie had a box set. I'm pretty sure I got this real cheap on eBay, and he had like 18 of them. So I think this might be a dupe. It's very shiny. But this is the horned one from Julie Guthrie's Lords of Light box set. No, wait. Lords of Decay box set. She also did Lords of Light. So she had kind of two sets of, it was basically Julie Guthrie's version of Heroic Fighters of the Known World, the Citadel box set that is so kick-ass. And I've previously shown you most of the RAFM, so I'm gonna, this is an alternative armies. This wasn't Asgard originally, was it? No, it was. Yeah, this is an Asgard reproduction from alternative armies. It's a pretty cool horse. This is the Winter Knight, but the family resemblance to Death Dealer is significant. This is one of the more literal interpretations of Frank Frazetta's Deathbringer, which, I mean, even in that realm of, is the Realm of Chaos 80s interview with, I interviewed Brian Ansel, and he was like, nah, dog, it was all Death Dealer. We stand. Okay, so I do have a couple kooky guys in here. These are not Julie Guthrie, but they're Ralph Partha, and they have a pretty similar, smaller, delicate scale. So my concept is that it's like a 25 true 28 or naturally proportioned chaos armor, and these are from, oh god, the second edition AD&D King. What is his name? I've got literally got a Dragon Magazine poster. Elmore, Larry Elmore. My Dragon Magazine poster is like right over there. So I just read his signature off of it. And this is the Larry Elmore signature series, which, if you remember, second edition AD&D art, there's a lot of Larry Elmore had a very distinctive style, and he was an excellent artist. And you know, sometimes it makes me very nostalgic because it was very much of its time. But so those are Evil Chaos Knights from Ralph Partha. This is the foot version of the Winter King. So pretty sick, dude. We love Asgard. Back to Julie Guthrie. So we've got a selection of Minotaurs. She did, these came from a Minotaur box set that she did for Grenadier. Here's the champion. This one, oh no, it's not a rot, I don't think, but I need to give it another prime, maybe swab it down, get some alcohol, some paint thinner or something. I don't know if that's old paint or what. I hope it's old paint. It just looks gnarly. And I'm gonna learn, I swear to God. But yeah, so he's the Minotaur champion. You can do a whole Minotaur warband in Realms of Chaos. We'll probably do Dragon Rampant, more likely, but it's always been my dream. I first read the Realm of Chaos books when I was like, so these are Minotaur with awesome horns. I can't recall the name of that animal, but they're diverse. They have diverse horns. These have ram horns, and I love Julie Guthrie's sculpting and the proportions, like the details, kind of emoting very naturalistic poses. They're not like Bob Merch, we love Bob Merch, but the proportions and the posing are different than what Julie Guthrie does. We got a Ralph Partha legend here. It's got to be Tom Meyer, Jabberwock. I like the Tom Meyer Ralph Partha one better than the Citadel one, honestly. They're very similar, but I feel like this one is just a little bigger and cooler. So I got that one. It's also more affordable than trying to get a Citadel Jabberwock. But yeah, that's like the Jabberwock actually, like if you look at the stat breakdown in 3rd edition, is one of the more it's more powerful than a dragon, like, and a max level dragon. The RAFM Chaos guys, these go along with the Iron Brotherhood that I showed you in the other video. Yeah, he rides a lion, dude. Do you ride a lion to work? No, you don't. You're not as cool as this dude. He's got a scorpion on his hat. Like, come on. I like that this guy kind of looks like, it reminds me of Secret of Evermore. There's like a knight character that looked like that. I think it was Secret of Evermore. But the Realms of Chaos books, I was in like 7th grade. It was like pretty quickly after my first exposure to Warhammer. I gotta do something about that sword, but these are all the Bob Merch ones that I talked about. I think I should show you the Iron Lords are pretty. I showed you most of these when I opened the packs, but like, these dudes are sick. Like, I mean, you wouldn't even notice if they were in the pages of Realms of Chaos. Like, you'd be like, who's this Citadel sculptor? I don't know. Until you found out the scale of them. But we've got a guy with a top knot there. Very maraudery. I like a bareheaded chaos guy now and again if he looks completely insane. The twin-headed snake Thulsa Doom kind of motif, spiky molded on shield. Gonna have to be careful when I bend that back. There's also, these are the mounted that's the Dinky Winky version of there was one on foot, and this was one that was mounted. It was like hot glued to this horse, so I had to break it off. But yeah, that's Death Dealer, I think it says his name. No, Death Lord. Anyway, it's also supposed to be Death Dealer, whether that's its name or not. So yeah, these guys, they're not just your average chaos guy. They got a different flavor. And I like a Bob Merch horse. The RAFM horses, they're kind of smaller and stocky, but all of his guys are kind of low to the ground. There's a part in Phantasm where one of those little Jawa guys attacks him, and later he's describing it as low and brown and close to the ground, short and brown and close to the ground. And yeah, so there's just more non-Citadel Chaos dudes. Now, some of the finest non-Citadel Chaos figures, in my opinion, are Bob Ollie Fantasy Armies from Ralph Partha. So this is a line that has, they're in 2 packs. So you start with a very normal Mandalorian, like Brian Ansell would say, that is a Chaos Warrior, a Chaos Knight. Now, then we got this guy. He's got style. He's got class. This guy looks like an anteater or tapir. He looks like a tapir. He looks like a not the most threatening guy, but it's going to be real weird. It's a real weird guy to run into. But yeah, so then we have a couple more sculpts here. And I think that I'm sorry, there we go. A couple more dudes to show. We love our little dudes. This is the last of the Chaos Knights. So they all have lances and shields and weapons that come on a separate sprue. They're interchangeable. And this is more RAFM stuff we've already seen. Oh, but I had two of the taper face guys, so I took some inspiration from Ian Miller and myself and created this head swap. It's on a bunch of Oathmark banner parts, Wolf Rider tail. I did sculpt, if you can see, quite a bit of the helmet there. I haven't really sculpted much with green stuff, and it was hard, but it turned out, I think it'll look very Realms of Chaos. But all these horses have slightly different like ornamentation, but I just want to say, like, that is a really cool horse for an evil dude. They are so spiky. The barding is like so leather and spikes, and yeah, doesn't look like a Bretonian horse for sure. Then those RAFM angels, or death angels, or death everything, chaos, blood. Anyway, this guy's pretty typical, other than his feathered wings. I love the feathered wings. I'm gonna go crazy on those. I painted a coatl one time. This is a D&D minis, but I use this is the paint scheme, the color from the illustration in the AD&D 2nd edition Monstrous Manual. So I had to show that off. And I'm going to do something similar with these guys. So I've got, this one looks kind of weird and cosmic, so I think it's going to go in well. And I think this will probably be the Demon Prince I use. But yeah, definitely not a Citadel Demon Prince. A little more cosmic and weird. They all have like Gnostic names, like names of like Gnostic deities. And then, so I did end up getting Chaos Champions, one from each god. So I got this awesome Slanesh champion, the corn beast face guy, the very John Blanche inspired face there. It's this one has pretty soft features. I hope that I can ink that a little bit, make it stand out more. But and then so that brings me to two of my absolute favorite miniatures of all time. So he's got the text stuff on him, and I'm not gonna harm him, but I need to put something on his back. Maybe even I got a beaky backpack somewhere. It'd be cool to have a technological Tzeentch sorcerer on a disc, you guys. So classic. I'm gonna really enjoy painting that guy. But what I'm gonna enjoy most of all, the Queen. She's on a Citadel combat card, and her name is like Gerda von Evilstein. But she is a diva. She is a queen. She is an alternate sculpt of this one. I hadn't noticed how little is different on these two. And I love this one, but because I couldn't find this one at a good price at first, and so I got a different Slanesh. I think the Slanesh champions are my favorite miniatures of the Realm of Chaos line. But oh my god, she is she's a doll, y'all, and she's going to destroy you with the power of chaos. So that is my reasonable scale Chaos Army project. Maybe one day I will get around to painting it. So I can't imagine anybody stayed around this long, but if you did, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.